So in this video I'm just going to teach you how to duplicate a track and then get a different sound on that track. So here I've got this 8 basses legato, which sounds like this. And then I've just got that track duplicated a few times here. But what I want to show you how to do is to use another instrument to either blend that sound with another instrument, or you might like to copy it for a different section of your song. So if I right click around here on this track, there's a duplicate track which just creates the track without the audio, which is not what I want. And then there's duplicate track complete, which takes all of that MIDI information along with it. So at the moment this is still going to play the basses sound, and I want to put a different sound on that. So over on the right hand side, if I go into instruments and then using the standard Presonus instruments which you can download under presence, and then there's this artist instruments, let's just choose a wind, maybe I find a trombone might work for this sound. We'll give that a go, and you just drag it in on top of the existing instrument. It'll give you an option whether you want to combine it, which would then give you the bass instrument and the trombone instrument at the same time. But if you want a bit more control than that, you're better off clicking load, which will load the trombone sound, and it'll load that on top of the basses sound. The bass sound will be gone. It'll bring up the instrument. I don't actually need that just now, so I'm going to close that down. Now this should be a trombone sound. If I mute that bass track so that we've only got this track happening now on its own, it keeps arming it. I don't really need it armed. I'm just playing it back. And there we go. I can play them together. Sometimes, and you'll notice there that the sound of the basses is overpowering the sound of the trombones. If I was going to play them at the same time, you probably want to balance the volume out a little bit. Now I can hear a bit of both. Your other option there is to, here's my 2 tracks here, I can split them left and right. So I've got one in my left here and one in my right here, so it's a little bit clearer. Another option we have, and I'll just bring that back into the center, is we can bring one of the instruments an octave up or an octave down. If you imagine on a piano keyboard, if you play a chord, you can also play that chord a whole octave down, because the notes repeat themselves as you go up the octaves. So if I take my trombones and transpose them, which is just the process of moving notes up or down, I'm going to transpose them down by an octave. And an octave is 12 notes. If you're on the piano keyboard and you're on one note and then you count down, you go down one note at a time 12 times, you'd find yourself back down at the same note. Let's see how that sounds. You can hear it's much lower now. You could go the opposite way. So if I take the basses, might be quite high for basses. I'll take them up by 12. Sometimes it is hard. You just got to click in it and drag up and down to change this number. Sometimes it's hard to get the number you want, and if that's the case, just double click in it and you can type it in. Sometimes that's quicker. And you can hear now those basses are playing really very high. So it really depends whether you want them to be blended in together and you want to hear them together, the blended sound, or you still want the audience to be able to discern which is which. Then you can split them left and right and transpose them apart like that.